Ballerina living here in LA is back home after a prisoner swap with Russia. Ksenia Karolina was freed today in exchange for a Russian-German man jailed in the U.S.
Former President Trump thanked Vladimir Putin and credited UFC CEO Dana White for spotlighting the case. Fox 11's Laura Diaz is live with more. Laura.
Yes, we are here in the LA neighborhood where Ksenia last lived. I tried knocking on doors. I was actually able to get into the apartment complex. No one answered. However, just a short time ago, I spoke to Ksenia's husband's friend, and he reacted with a lot of joy. Let's listen.
Some of the toughest fighters and warriors, like a breakup will ruin them, or any, whatever. So, I mean, I'm sure that this brought out a whole nother level of grit and strength in himself and his heart, to deal with this. And I'm so happy that he gets to finally rest, because I know he was battling long time.
The video of the 32-year-old Ksenia being released from a Russian prison and making the trek back to America was extraordinary. She was part of a prison swap. Now, the ballerina with dual Russian-American citizenship was accused of fundraising for the Ukrainian military cause. She was accused of transferring. Oh, she's back. We're looking at, I guess, fresh video just coming across right now. You're looking at live of her being back in the U.S. Oh, I wish I could see it, but I'm told she's hugging family. We can only imagine the jubilation of this moment. Of course, her husband, his name is Chris Van Heerden. He's a boxer. He was very joyful today of them kissing and spending time together. He is an American, and he has lobbied hard to try to get her back. But in the end, it was the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who was successful. We're going to, if we have a moment, we can show you. This was a post earlier from Chris. My God is a faithful God that hears the cry of the broken heart, and he answers prayers. In Jesus' name, Ksenia is free and on her way home to the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. So you are looking at live pictures of the reunion taking place, but she would have spent 12 years in prison if this prison swap had not happened today. So you can only imagine the amount of the release of the emotion, how extraordinary this moment is for her husband, for people who loved her. And here in this LA neighborhood, we hope to be able to get reaction later, but you're witnessing history right here on Fox 11. Laura Diaz reporting live from LA, sending it back to the studio.
Laura, we're watching her smile and hug her loved ones, and it's a really sweet moment, but I imagine that this has to be in some way bittersweet, because I believe she was in Russia to visit her parents, right? And so you wonder if she'll be ever able to see them ever again.
Of course, we don't have the answer to it, but you can only imagine the sense of relief that she must be feeling right now, and her family, her husband here in America. As I said, he's a boxer, and you heard his friend describing just the mental toughness and the physical toughness it takes to be a boxer, and he's one of note. But the heart-wrenching scene of knowing that your loved one is in a prison and you don't know when they're going to get out, or if they're going to get out, or what the conditions are. So it's an extraordinary moment, and we'll have more as we continue to cover this story here on Fox 11.
Stay with this picture right here if we can for just a moment, because it is quite emotional just watching that video there, or that live shot there, as she is, as you said, hugging loved ones, being received by loved ones. Well, we're looking right now at video where she's received some flowers from a woman there and lots of affection right there. But imagine the emotion of being back on U.S. soil after being held in that Russian prison for making a $50 donation to a charity, to an organization. And there you have that long story that played out, that political story that played out before our very eyes. But right there, you're seeing just the raw emotion of what you might call a homecoming here in the U.S. And Brooke, you make a note, though, how it must be tearing at her heart as well to have family back there in Russia, but also to be back here in the U.S. where she is loved as well, and she is free here, and the political efforts that went into making this happen.
That's the biggest part there. She's free.
And we are watching her right there, perhaps lots of hugs and kisses, perhaps posing for some photos. We'll keep a watch on that story, and we thank Laura Diaz for the coverage there.